I'll introduce myself. My name is Fahad Rahman. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt under Chris Hearn. I run a club up in Muswell Hill called Alexandra Park BJJ. Is anyone here kind of staying in Wood Green Halls at all? No? Okay, so it's not far away from Wood Green Halls. So you could, you're always welcome to come and pay us a visit. SOAS BJJ and Alexandra Park BJJ is affiliated with Sasquatch Studios. Yeah, so that's kind of about us and about the affiliation. We've been running jiu-jitsu. Well, there's been jiu-jitsu at SOAS for at least 15 years. Okay, so it's got, this was one of actually the first jiu-jitsu clubs in London, believe it or not. Okay, in terms of teaching, I don't teach traditionally anymore as much as I can. So instead of me showing you techniques, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you guys to play some games, and hopefully from those games, the behaviors will emerge that I want to see. My job is not to teach you techniques. My job is to help you acquire skills. Okay, so that's going to be the goal. Some people, when you first exposed to this approach, you might find it a little bit frustrating because I'm not going to be giving you answers. I'm hoping that you discover the answers yourself. Okay. Who's done jiu-jitsu or martial arts training before? If you can put your hands up for me. Okay, cool. So for those of you who haven't, just want to go over some safety rules. So we train under this principle of implied consent, because everyone here is on the mat, you're all dressed, you all look ready to train. I'm assuming that everyone here is going to be comfortable with being touched and close physical contact. This consent can be withdrawn at any time for any reason, and the typical way that you'd choose to withdraw that consent is by tapping your partner twice. Okay, you can tap your partner twice for any reason. Okay, and that means they need to stop what they're doing immediately. Okay, if you can't tap with your hands, you just say tap tap. Okay, some other safety rules that I'm going to go over because they're just pet peeves of mine. When you're grabbing hold of people's hands, grabbing hold of all four fingers is absolutely fine. 3 is fine. This, please don't do that. If you get anyone doing this, grabbing a single digit, I'll kick you out of the club. All right. No eye gouging, no biting. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to start going into the games now. When you're playing these games, I want you to start playing them at around 50%. Can I have a volunteer? Yeah, can borrow you, buddy. Okay. Okay. Cool. So if you just want to sit here in this spot here, turn around. Okay. So this. We're gonna play this game for a minute on top, a minute on bottom. So I'm on top at the moment, he's on bottom. So his job is to defend. Okay, I'm gonna take a grip. So one of my arms is gonna go over the top of his shoulder. The other arm is gonna come underneath his armpit here, and I'm gonna grab my arms, grab my hands. It doesn't. At the moment, I'm not too concerned how you're grabbing your hands, so long as you don't take this grip here. Okay, you don't interlock your fingers. Please don't do that. Okay, so you can grab your hands however you want. Okay, so my job is to get both my feet over the top of his hips. Okay, while maintaining chest-to-chest connection. Okay, so, sorry, chest-to-back connection. So I'm trying to keep my chest connected to his back like this, okay? Okay, so my job is to get both my feet in here, okay? Yeah, okay. His job is to stop me from doing that, okay? His winning conditions are if he's able to separate my hands and turn and face me, he wins, okay? And then we just reset from this starting position again. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so we'll do this game as a little bit of a warm-up, and then we'll go into some other warm-up drills, okay? Grab a partner and give this a go, please. Off you go. I don't clap. Move his arm across, okay? So that's the goal of the last game. It's going to be the same goal for this game. So he can win by forcing his arm across my body here like this. So that's his first winning condition. His second winning condition will be to forcing me onto my back. My starting position is going to be different. So instead of being lying on my side, I'm going to be propped up onto my arm here, okay? So his job is to get his arm across, okay? Bring it back across, okay? Or to force me onto my back. Like this. No. You need to stay on top. Stay on your knees. Don't give your back away. Here. Like this position here. So if I end up in closed guard, he wins, okay? Again, some of you are skipping ahead because you've done jiu-jitsu before. I don't want you to look for the back take just yet. Okay? If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Some of you are skipping to back take. I just want you to build on this skill here of controlling your opponent in this position here, okay? The more time you spend here, the more reps you're going to be getting. Okay, so I want you to start here. Okay, if you jump out, I can borrow you, Matt, so you can just have a look at the starting position. Okay, so again, I'm on my side. Okay, and then again with Matt, I need to kind of like prop myself up in a little, even higher. So Matt's job is to get his arm across, or he's looking to wrestle me down. So if he grab hold of my wrist, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. If he manages to get me into any of those positions, he wins. We reset. We swap over. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. Change partners again. Grab someone new. Try and grab someone who's a different size, body shape to you. Yeah. To you at the moment. So when you're kind of like on your back, you need to be thinking about 4 objectives. Okay. And those objectives are in order: survival, okay, standing up, okay, scoring, okay, and I'll explain what that means in a little later. Then your last priority should be submissions, okay. It's really difficult, I think, especially in a modern game, to submit someone off your back. So you really need to be thinking about surviving, standing up, scoring, and submissions is your last thing. So what I mean by scoring, I used to call this sweeping, but it kind of makes more sense if you think about it as scoring. So scoring positions, a score in jiu-jitsu would be me doing like this and then coming on top. I'd score 2 points. Okay. I'd also score or improve my position if I go for a back take here. Okay. So I'm thinking about going from a bottom position to a top position. And that's the way I want you guys to think about your jiu-jitsu. I really like, who's heard of Chris Hortner? No? Yeah, you would have heard of it. So he's one of the first Dirty Dozen American black belts. So one of the first 12 people in America to get his black belts. He's got 3 really nice principles for jiu-jitsu. So he says the first principle of jiu-jitsu is to get on top. The second principle of jiu-jitsu is to stay on top. The third principle of jiu-jitsu, if you're on your back, don't let anyone pass your guard. And then the fourth principle of jiu-jitsu is don't forget principle number 1. Okay, so your goal should always be to get on top. Okay, we're going to change the game now, and we're going to be looking at kind of like standing up from guard, because I think this will kind of like help you guys in terms of your back kicks. It may not seem like it now, but it will. So if you go on your back, okay, he's going to be flat on his back. He's going to wrap his feet around my body like this. Okay, his job is to stand up. So you're going to stand up with space away from me. Okay, separation. That's his job. Go back down. My job is to stop him from doing that. Does that make sense? So if we do like a live-ish round. Okay, does that make sense? Right, this skill in jiu-jitsu is kind of quite often overlooked, but I think it's an important skill to develop. Does anyone have any questions about that? Again, we're going to play this in groups of 3, okay, because you guys are going to be kind of like whirling all over the mat. So please, the third person, you need to make sure that the 2 training partners are safe. Anyone got any questions about that? Everyone understand what they're doing? Okay. We'll play this game again for 3 minutes and then we'll change partners. So change partners now, get into a new group, introduce thing happening. So I'll give you guys some pointers. So if you come here. So I've kind of like started on my back. What I'm seeing a lot of you doing is you're turning your chest in like this. You're kind of like sitting here like this, okay, and kind of holding tight. So, which kind of like, it's sort of like, it makes sense. You kind of like want to hug them tight here. This makes a lot of sense. Okay, if you get your arm across, yeah, get your arm across. You can get across. And I was holding you fairly tightly there, yeah? Okay, what I want you to think about doing, instead of like curling into him there, is to push your chest in here. Now try and get your arm out. Just pushing your chest in. I mean, that was a lot harder work. Okay? All right. You also want to be thinking about holding onto this wrist as long as you can. In the gi, it's easier because I can kind of hold on to the end of the material there, push this arm through. No gi, you need to kind of just take a wrist grip. It's not as effective. Okay? Here. The other thing that you want to be doing is kind of like when you're kind of building up, is like coming here. Can you see? Now try and get your arm out. There. So it looks counterintuitive. You think you want to be here like this, but you actually want to be pushing your chest into their shoulder here like this, because this kind of creates a solid wall. It's a lot more difficult for him to get his arm across. So I'm just going to give you a chance to drill that small bit a couple of times. Okay, do you need to see that? I can borrow you, Matt. Okay, So what I don't want you to guys doing is this. I don't want you kind of like holding on tight like this. I want you to be here, like this, okay? So you come here, Matt. So I don't want you holding here. Get your arm across, Matt. Yeah, you can get it out, okay? What I want you to be doing is, yeah. The other advantage of doing it this way is it kind of slows him down. So if it slows him down, it allows me to start coming into these positions here and then looking for sweeps like that, okay? So slowing him down that way gives me the angle to come in underneath. All right, for those of you who trained jiu-jitsu before, kind of like you can sweep the person from this position here, kind of like by kind of coming in between the legs, okay? But what tends to happen is you get stuck here. So you always want to attack with the back take first, and as he's kind of like resisting it, that gives you the space to start coming in, looking for your triangles and your arm locks and stuff like that, okay? So, but I just want you to, just to reiterate, it's not this, it's this. Okay, you want to kind of curl your shoulder blades together. Any questions on that? Just drill that, go 2 for 2.